gonna tear that bitch up.
These type of situations happens every day. Every day. At niggas gambling and shit, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And niggas rob the dice game or whatever, you feel me? No matter who the they are.
Boosie Badass is right back in the headlines. And no, it ain't over no new music drop or viral IG moment. This time, it's way more serious. We're talking deadly serious. Duke the Jeweler was taken out, gone in cold blood, and now the feds are on high alert. And guess whose name is popping up all over the place? Boosie's. This ain't just online gossip anymore. We're talking about real federal paperwork, witness statements, and actual evidence that's got social media blowing up like crazy. What started off as quiet whispers in the streets has turned into a full-on investigation. And every new detail that comes out, it's painting a darker picture. Like Boosie might be tangled up in something real grim. From a sketchy traffic stop that had Boosie pulled over, to some pricey jewelry that mysteriously vanished, to multiple eyewitnesses, and even a dice game that might have ended in someone's death. If you thought this was just rap beef gone wrong, nah, it's deeper than that. This whole thing kicked off with what looked like a simple traffic stop. Boosie was just riding, chilling when the cops rolled up. At first, nothing seemed too crazy, but it didn't take long for the internet to start connecting the dots, and once they did, the story exploded. Why that car? Why that day? Because that traffic stop wasn't some random coincidence. It happened right after Duke the Jeweler got shot down in Houston. The streets had already been buzzing, but when the feds swooped in and pulled Boosie over so close to the timeline of Duke's death, that's when the whispers turned into real suspicion. And then, the whole vibe changed. The feds stepped in with a different kind of energy. They weren't playing no games. They pulled Boosie to the side and let him know straight up, this ain't just another chapter in his usual court drama. This one, it's being handled separately. No delays, no distractions, and definitely no slipping through the cracks. This ain't just a side case, it's a full-on standalone federal investigation. Behind closed doors, they've been making serious moves. According to reports, they've already split up the charges, separated this from Boosie's past legal mess, and started zooming in on who was actually with Duke that night. The message is loud and clear. Boosie might be a rapper to the public, but to the feds, he's a person of interest in a serious federal case, and they're not sitting around waiting for him to mess up. They're already putting together a full timeline, piece by piece. According to the official report from Houston PD, Duke flew in straight from Chicago with one mission: sell some exclusive jewelry to Boosie. It was all supposed to be business. The man had over $1 million worth of custom pieces packed tight in his Louis Vuitton bag. This wasn't no small-time deal. Earlier that same day, Duke had just popped out at a celebrity boxing match, chilling with some major names. After that, he rolled up to a private dice game. Same spot where Boosie and a few others were kicking it, but here's where it gets real shady. Right after that dice game ended, Duke got robbed and shot dead. Just minutes later, no jewelry, no Louis bag, and still no justice. And Boosie? He said Duke went his own way, and whatever happened after, he had no clue. But with that tight timeline and Duke flying in just to see him, yeah, the feds aren't buying that story, not for a second. That's when Duke's brother, who goes by Stax, stepped in, and he wasn't about to let his brother's name fade into silence. Stax started speaking up, and what he dropped, it had everyone paying attention. Stax didn't sugarcoat a thing. He straight up said he believes Boosie set his brother up. No vague tweets, no subliminals, just the raw truth. According to him, Boosie was the last person Duke came to meet, and next thing you know, Duke ends up dead. Nah, that don't sit right with Stax. And truth be told, it ain't sitting right with a whole lot of people either. Stax said he's been doing his own digging, watching footage, checking timestamps, connecting the dots like a detective. The way he sees it, Duke didn't just get caught lacking, he got lined up. This whole situation, it's a harsh lesson, a brutal one, and it hits way harder when it comes from someone you thought you could trust. Duke showed up thinking he was doing straight business with a celebrity, someone with status, money, and major influence. But instead, he got caught up in what's looking more and more like an inside job. Whether Boosie had a direct hand in it or was just in the room when it went down, that's what the investigation is digging into. But either way, the damage already done.
Y'all finna be at the service tomorrow for Duke. Leave your phones in the car, man. The family don't want no phones, man. We ain't got time for motherfuckers be sneaking no pictures, no videos, no bullshit like that. Leave your phones in the car, man. The family asking for no pictures, no recording and shit like that. man. So if y'all want to get y'all little ass slapped up, punched up.
Let's get real about what Duke brought with him that night. He wasn't just some random guy trying to flex at a dice game. Duke the jeweler was a real name in the game. Custom pieces, celebrity clientele, and serious clout in the jewelry world. And that night he was carrying real weight. We're talking over $1 million in ice, all stuffed in a Louis Vuitton duffel. He walked into that room with Boosie and the rest, showing off his work, talking business, and trying to level up his brand. He came in with ambition, but he never made it back out. He wasn't hiding a thing. Duke trusted that room. He walked in proud, showing off his pieces, thinking he was among people who respected the grind. And now, after digging through countless social media posts and timelines, here's what we know. After that dice game, the bag was gone, the jewelry vanished, and Duke found dead. No trace of the $1 million setup he showed up with. Cameras conveniently off, nobody saw nothing, and out of everyone in that room, the only one who didn't make it out alive, Duke. That ain't a coincidence. It's a story that's starting to write itself. But here's where it really gets wild. That same Louis Vuitton bag, the one Duke had with over $1 million in jewelry, Houston PD confirmed it was found inside Boosie's own house. Yeah, not some storage unit, not a friend holding it, his actual crib. Let that marinate for a second. Now, word on the street is that Duke asked Boosie to hold the bag while they played dice. But when everything went south and Duke ended up dead, that bag never made it back to Duke's family. No report filed, no statement given, just sitting there like it belonged. Oh, if Duke really trusted Boosie enough to hand him that $1 million bag, why didn't Boosie say anything after Duke got hit? Why didn't he call the cops? Why was that same bag just chilling at his place like nothing ever happened? And as if the bag situation wasn't already wild, now there's a missing phone in the mix. Duke's phone disappeared right after that dice game. Nobody had answers. Not one person stepped up to claim they saw it or knew where it went. But the feds, they ain't new to this. Every phone's got a unique signal, like a digital fingerprint. And when they traced Duke's phone, it didn't vanish into the air. Nope, it pinged straight to Boosie's recording studio. Yeah, you heard that right. The phone's last signal was right there in his spot. So unless that phone got up and walked over there by itself, someone from Boosie's circle had to have it. Let's be real, it didn't teleport. Somebody either got real sloppy or just didn't care who was watching. That studio ping, it was the final location before the phone went completely dark, and that ties yet another thread back to Boosie. When the feds searched Duke's rental truck, they weren't expecting what they actually did find. No mystery fingerprints, no unknown suspects. What they found was worse. Boosie's own nephew's fingerprints. That's bloodline right there. Inner circle. And it didn't stop there. Next thing you know, Boosie's little cousin got caught up too. That's 2 close family members now directly tied to the scene. And this ain't no gossip. This is straight forensic evidence, no rumors, no guessing. Fingerprints don't lie, and they don't fade away. The feds love that kind of proof. They treat it like gold in court. Now here's where it gets even more intense. An eyewitness, just a regular person who stepped outside to smoke, said they saw Duke leaving Boosie's house. At first, everything looked smooth. Duke was cool, calm, walking like it was just another day. But out of nowhere, Boosie's nephew creeps out, not from the house, not casually walking up, but sliding in from the side like he was posted up waiting. The setup, already in motion, if you believe what's coming out in those federal reports and what's buzzing heavy in the streets. Duke didn't just freeze up or panic. Nah, word is he swung first on Boosie's nephew. He tried to defend himself, tried to fight his way out of the trap, but by then, it was already too late. That's when Boosie's nephew allegedly pulled the strap and let off. Just like that, no shouting, no threats, no hesitation, one quick move, and it was done. Cold, calculated. And it went down right outside the very spot where Duke thought he was safe, just doing regular business. This wasn't some random street beef, it was personal. And the way it unfolded, fast, clean, and without chaos, makes it look planned from the jump. But here's the real slip-up. The piece that's got the whole crew under the feds' microscope. They allegedly kept Duke's jewelry. Whether they straight up robbed him or just never gave it back doesn't matter. The fact is, they held on to that bag. The one with over $1 million in ice, still in Boosie's possession, and Duke's phone tracked straight to his studio. That's not just talk, that's evidence, that's motive. That's exactly how the feds stack up a case brick by brick. And once they traced that chain of possession, from the jewelry to the phone to the people holding it, it was a wrap. Now here's where the whole thing gets even messier. People are turning their eyes to Jay Prince. And they're asking the real questions. Because if Jay Prince really runs Houston like everybody says he does, how did something like this go down on his turf without him knowing a thing? Let's keep it 100. Jay Prince is notorious for enforcing that check-in culture. You pull up to H-Town, you check in. That's the rule. Otherwise, things can get ugly, robberies, setups, even disappearances. And people know this. It's part of the game down there.
Is there supposed to be a certain protocol?
If Duke came to Houston on business and did check in like he was supposed to, that makes it worse. Because then it starts to look like somebody gave the green light, like someone allowed this to play out right under the nose of the man who's supposed to have the whole city on lock. Even some folks with mob ties are chiming in now, saying Boosie's nephew might have acted solo, but not everyone's buying that. A lot of eyes are still on Jay Prince, wondering how something this heavy could go down in his city under his watch without a single warning or check. And here's a key detail slipping through the cracks. Sources close to the situation said Duke was winning big. He wasn't just playing to pass time, he was cleaning out the table, taking stacks off everybody, including Boosie's own people. That's when the vibe shifted. What started off like a chill, high-stakes game suddenly got real uncomfortable. You know how it goes when pride and pockets take a hit, egos get loud, even if nobody says a word. Duke was stacking too much too fast. The room got quiet, real quiet. That's the kind of silence that says something's about to go down. Now, I'll leave you with this. What really happened that night? Was Duke walking into a setup from the start, or was it a lucky streak that spiraled out of control and turned deadly? And the biggest question, will Boosie end up taking the fall, or is he just the face tied to a play much bigger than him? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you never miss a breakdown like this again. And if you're ready for more raw industry secrets and untold beefs, tap the next video. We got more heat on the radar.